So, we're here.
We here.
The inaugural podcast, man.
Yep.
Shit feels kind of awkward, but
Let's go.
shit, it's gang, dude.
Yep.
So if anybody doesn't know, this is going to be a music podcast. We're going to talk about the bullshit. We're going to have some hot takes. We're going to have I don't know, just normal music shit.
Stream of consciousness, right?
Exactly.
What we going for?
Exactly. Stream of consciousness bullshit. So if you get offended easily, I apologize in advance, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, let's just jump right into it. A little bit about me and my background. By the way, this is Zachy T.
AKA Kidkaze.
AKA Kid Kazi.
And this is F Guapo.
F Guapo, yes, sir. And we're here. A little bit about me, and then I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yep.
I was in the industry for a little bit as an audio engineer. So I know the ins and outs of all the bullshit. And now I'm a producer for this guy. So, why don't you tell him what you're about, man?
And we've made a lot of progress. From this exact room, just so y'all know.
Yes, sir.
But I started off as a artist recording from home. I met this dude. We linked up and started working together. He really built me up, my sound 100%. And then I got into the industry, which I'll talk about later. But it's pretty cool that we're just two regular kids that really turn nothing into something.
Yeah, and then they don't want us in the industry, right?
Without a doubt. We both got burnt.
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, how many offers do we have? Zero
offers, but I guarantee A&Rs scope our shit all the time.
Yeah, we have tons of plays. I mean, how could they not see it? But it's okay. We're going to brute force our way in, right?
That's exactly what we're going to do. Fuck the labels.
Yeah.
Fuck the labels.
Fuck them. I agree. So, where I come from as an audio engineer is kind of like, and dare I say the word, an overworking. It's almost like grooming. You know what I mean? It's like a sexual assault grooming. It's like they try to tell me that it's okay. What I'm doing is okay. Like, oh, work 70 hours a week. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Oh, it's normal. Everybody works 70 hours a week. And that's it's like a grooming, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I think recently, Ellie Goulding or something, are you familiar with her?
I know who she is.
That like trance artist?
Yep.
She, I guess, went into some like rehab center because she was mental exhaustion.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's exactly what it'd do to you.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to think, a lot of you guys, myself included, 9 to 5 jobs, right? 40 hours a week. That takes a toll.
Right.
70 hours a week is not good for your mental health, let's be real.
Right.
And to just keep going and you're not sleeping, you know what it feels like when you don't sleep for 24 hours. Like,
right.
You get foggy, you get depressed, lack of sleep causes depression, and you're just forced to keep going, and you're told that it's normal. That's not normal.
Right, it's that grooming thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not normal at all.
It's crazy, and it's become an industry standard, and I think that's why a lot of artists, and I don't know if you want to agree or not, but a lot of artists are going independent because it's like, hold on a second, I'm going to kill my body, my health, for what, for you to take 30-40%? That's
slavery. It's slavery.
Yeah, it's like sharecropping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you're a hard worker, bro. Like, when we go to work, I mean, the sessions are just song. Sometimes even I'm ready to tap out, and you're like, hey, you want to do another song?
No, it goes both ways, bro. The chemistry. Hey, but we're both hard workers, and we know that if our dreams are that vivid in our minds, we're not ones to just stop. 100. And this has been like a decade of just, at first it wasn't as much of, we didn't work as hard, I would say, for sure, not at the beginning, but now, right. And the main thing, here we go, with the grooming.
Right.
If you go at your own pace, you're going to have fun with it. And that's
right.
the whole point of being an artist. Once it feels like a job and it feels forced, that the creativity is going downhill.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of these artists turn to drugs.
Right.
they want to tap out, and I don't blame them, because you're supposed to go at your own pace. If you feel like you need to take the day off, take the fucking day off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And these
Like,
labels aren't letting them.
No, it's slavery. And while we're here, why don't we talk about the 360 deals?
Oh my gosh, yeah, 360 deals. Yeah, if you're not familiar with 360 deals, which I don't know if our listeners are, you know, and allow me to just kind of iterate. If you can add if you want. A 360 deal is, so the labels didn't think it was enough for them to not do anything and collect, you know, 20-30% of your revenue, but which I actually heard it was, I think it's like 9 cents on every dollar or something, or 90 cents on every dollar. It's something crazy like that. They decided to come up with this thing called 360 deals. Now, 360 deals is what it sounds like. They get a piece of the merch, they get a piece of the tour. Yeah. And I mean, what do you think about these 360 deals? Would you sign one?
Fuck no.
I mean,
it's wrong. And this is, hey, lawyer up.
Right.
Lawyer up.
Right.
I've seen interviews with these big artists. They don't even know what they signed.
Right.
Blueface, he couldn't even tell you his deal. No offense to Blueface, but like, you got to lawyer up.
Right.
It's important, because ain't no label should be taking, especially if you're the creator behind your merch, you're the one putting hours in for the show.
Right.
There's no way that the label should be able to take a piece of that. That's just wrong. And in my eyes, that's modern slavery.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because what are they left with? I mean, a chain, a shiny chain.
Exactly. And you know why the music industry's doing it? Because they know they're crumbling.
Exactly.
The fact that these kids can go out to Guitar Center, get their own setup like we do it ourselves, that's their fear.
Yeah.
They're scared of that, and they know that anyone could. You guys, hard work and determination, it's going to be a slow climb, but I promise you, if you don't give up, you will get there. And that's what the labels fear.
Right.
So they're going to try and snag you while you just start popping, you're fresh to this, they will take advantage of you.
Right. They're going to come up, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Let me give you $200,000, but don't worry about the paperwork. And you know, if you're struggling, you're going to be like, $200,000. Wow, shit, man. But it's a 6-album deal or something like that where they own you forever.
Yeah.
And they're just going to take advantage. Now, speaking of independence, I know we're going to jump over on the topics here, but you know, you wanted to talk about somebody, and this was kind of a hot take, but you wanted to talk about somebody, and I immediately was like, no, save it for the podcast, because I want to get a good, honest reaction. Yeah. So go ahead. What is this hot take?
My hot take is, when everyone was saying, especially the artists, this is the saddest part. It was mainstream artists more than like kids saying the shit. When artists were saying "fuck Russ,"
right?
That made no sense to me. In my mind, it's envy and jealousy, because we both relate to Russ, right? Making records in the room, like releasing drop after drop after drop, just working towards a certain goal of making it as an artist.
Yeah.
They all said fuck Russ. He is literally laying the blueprint for anyone like myself and Nef Guapo, like you. Even these kids that are saying fuck Russ that want to be artists. He's literally laying a blueprint for you to follow.
Right.
And just like Nipsey, like these independent artists that worked their ass off, did not take the easy route. It doesn't make sense to me why they're saying fuck Russ is fuck y'all, because this dude deserves to talk his shit. Right. Honestly, he deserves to talk his shit.
Right. And the important about Russ is the fact that he now more than anything, he gets to get the checks all on his own, right? That
goes straight into his bank account. And let me tell you something. No matter what, there's going to be dips in your career. It doesn't make sense for your career to go like this. It's going to be like this.
Right.
It's sometimes going to skyrocket, and then you're going to come back down. But this dude posted his TuneCore. If you guys know what TuneCore is, that's a streaming platform distributor you could upload your music to. He posted his royalties. This dude is making millions of fucking dollars. He doesn't have to break it with any label. He pays his team. That's like if I made fucking millions of dollars, this is the only dude I'd be breaking bread with. You know how fucking rich we'd be?
Right.
And you guys are saying fuck Russ.
Right.
And I'm not even the biggest fan of Russ. I'm just saying I respect the blueprint and the foundation that he's laid.
Right. Now I don't mean to get conspiracy, but do you think that all these artists that are signed, keep in mind signed, are saying fuck Russ. Do you think the label told him to say that?
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because they, you know, they make him the enemy because he's, you know, this guy that went and did it himself. He doesn't need no label. Because, I mean, you've seen, and again, not to get conspiratorial, but the fucking the news stations that were like, they repeated all the same things and they laid it out. You remember that? It was like all boxes and they were all saying the same thing. Did you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of feel like is happening with the music industry, because I heard that it was forecasted in like 5-10 years that all record labels are going to collapse.
I see that 100%.
Because people can record, like you said, at home.
Well, yeah, okay, going back to your conspiratorial mind with Russ, it makes sense that the labels would do that. One, because they probably thought he was soft. You gotta have thick skin to be in this industry.
Right.
You gotta have thick skin. You gotta be able to take judgment. You gotta be able to just, you gotta be able to take the shit, okay?
Right.
So if they did conspire to do that to Russ,
Right.
which makes sense, maybe they thought he would go off the deep end, but that dude's a pit bull, and it did the complete opposite. So if you guys did labels, you failed big time.
You failed. Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of why they don't want to sign white kids or white suburban kids, is because they think, oh, they're going to fall off the deep end. They're going to do this. And speaking of falling off the deep end, there's kid Oliver Peoples. I don't know if you know him. He just did an interview with H3H3, which is like a popular channel. And this fucking kid, okay, like, I don't know if he's trolling or not, but I mean, the rage behind his interview, it didn't seem like he was trolling, right?
What was he talking about?
Well, he okay, so basically there's like, so you're gonna retire? Why are you gonna retire? And he starts, I swear to God, if I would close my eyes, I would have thought a 5-year-old was throwing a temper tantrum. He goes, these labels are making me release only EPs and blah, blah, blah. I want to release this. I want to release this. He goes, fuck them. And I go, and this is a white kid, right? And I go, dude, this is the reason why. I was like, this kid probably grew up in the suburbs. He has this sense of entitlement where he thinks that if he got signed, he owns everything, which you and me do not think that way.
No.
We're blessed with any opportunity.
Facts. You guys know, once you sign, you do not own shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and even if we got success independently, we own our music, but we would still take every blessing and every opportunity as a blessing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this kid is taking it to a whole nother level. So he starts throwing this temper tantrum. He goes, I want to release my own album, blah, blah, blah. He's getting all pissed. And you could tell the interviewers are getting uncomfortable. And they're like, dude, really, man? Like, I mean, you could smell
a spoiled little brat.
Yes, yeah. And I feel like that's often associated with suburban kids is this sense of entitlement and spoiled brats. And what they fail to realize is that, you know, not everybody is like that. Not everybody comes from that. You know what I mean?
We got our struggles.
Yeah.
And we put our head down and we just grind.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna bitch, that's what I'm saying. Lawyer up. If you're not educated on what the fuck you're signing, that's your fault.
Yeah.
That's totally your fault.
Yeah.
No offense to you, Oliver, but come on.
Yeah.
Like, that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta lawyer up. You gotta be smart. You gotta be ahead of the game because they're gonna try and take advantage of you.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly. It's a game. And it's like when NBA players or NFL players get pissed because they got traded. It's like, dude, this is a business at the end of the day.
It is a business, yeah.
I mean, it's the music business.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a very snaky industry.
Exactly. You know, they do a lot of close behind the doors deals, and because of that, I mean, you never know what's happening. So he's crying about the fact that they only released a couple EPs, and he's still got massive budgets for his video, and he's still over there crying. It's like, dude, you know how many people would die
to be in his situation?
Yes. I was like, these
kids, bro.
The nerve that this kid has, man. And so he goes, I'm going to retire. That's how he ends it. He goes, I'm retiring. This is the last thing I'm going to release. And I started, and keep in mind, this kid's like maybe, I don't know, 26, 27. He says he's going to, quote unquote, retire.
He's like our age.
I'm like, dude, you don't even know how good you have it.
Yeah.
Just wait till you get dropped.
Well, okay, so how stupid is the idea of retirement? I mean, if you're a true artist, and okay, even if your deal's done, whatever, if you have a fan base and if you love making music, that's your passion, why the fuck would you retire? You could upload you could do this right here, record at home.
Yep.
You don't have to go gold, you don't have to go platinum. It's a stream of revenue. Why would you stop? If you really love it, what the fuck is the point of stopping?
Exactly.
So you don't gotta be a gold. And him and I, we don't give a fuck if we're A B-list celebrities. This is just something that we love doing. Whether we make it or not, we'd still be doing it.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
And that's what it's funny that you say that, because that's what I wrote down. And I said, you know, a true artist will never retire.
It doesn't make sense. You can go to Guitar Center and buy your own set for $300 and release music.
If you love making music, this isn't a job, a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Like, you just love making music.
Yeah.
You don't retire.
Exactly.
I mean, even if our music, you know, I mean, we have some very good numbers right now, but even if we were getting 2 people listening, we would still be making music.
100%.
You know
Which
what I mean?
we've been there.
Yeah.
And our shit, just so you know, we go up in streams and we drop down in streams, and we still keep going because we fucking love doing it.
Right.
And it's our passion.
Yeah.
So retirement, we'd probably be 80 years old if we were alive then, still fucking around with music.
Yep.
Straight up. So, quick plug. First of all, if you don't jewel and you don't smoke nicotine, then don't buy these, because I don't want to motivate anyone to create another bad habit in their life. But if you do jewel and you do vape, get these. This is my friend's company, the Jones Pods, and they're fucking delicious. The funny thing is, my buddy F Guapo and I were buying these for a very long time, and then we just recently found out that he owned it, and we got a box of some goodies.
Yes,
Pretty
we did.
fire pods, right?
Yes.
I think they're better than the original Jewel pods, to be honest. So
Yeah, they are. And they last longer, too. Last longer.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, shout out. What's his name?
Jones Pods, Zaid Turby. Shout out to you, brother.
All right, Jones Pods. Thank you. So, now we're going to get into a time right now in the podcast called Hot Take Time. This is a segment that we're
Guapo's
trying.
Hot Take.
Yeah, so this is... Yeah,
Shake up the world right now.
He wanted to make sure that it was known that it's my hot take. Now, I side with the street aspect of everything, but I don't mind Tekashi as a pop star.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? I don't like his mouth. I don't like that he talks, but if he just stuck to like Spanish pop or regular pop, if he wants to compete with Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, cool. That's a perfect lane for him.
To him. Problem though, he still has that fucking mouth.
He does. He still has that fucking mouth. He does. He belongs with the Justin Bieber though. He belongs in that soft. I
mean, bro, his pop songs like Gotti,
yeah,
he crushes it.
Yeah.
And I like Tekashi 6ix9ine's music, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's fire. Yeah. But you have to think like from the street side of what he signed up for, the families that he's ruined, like you were telling me. Like that's families plural that he has completely ruined. Destroyed. Father's not there, completely absent because of his actions. I agree with you though. If he stuck to the pop, cool, more power to him. Right. You got out, bro. You basically got out scotch-free. Like, come on. Yeah. But the mouth. Hey, yeah. Just hang with Justin Bieber. Hang with Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. Hang with them, and I don't have a problem with them. I agree with that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Do you have a hot take, or should we move on to the next thing? Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, and another next thing, and this could be considered a hot take. Could be offensive. Could be offensive. But UK and UK drill music. Mm-hmm. Do you guys share a gun? Or I'm sorry, I heard that joke from somebody, but you know, come on now. You're not chopping up the blocks. You're not doing any of that. I mean, is UK? What do you think? Is UK music ever going to make a stand in the U.S. in America? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. I've heard a lot of fire songs. Right. You can tell when there's good cadence. Right. Dope lyrics. Right. But as far as like there's just something about the gangster UK artists, like the aggressiveness. Right. I mean, and I'm not trying to talk shit. This is my point we were talking about earlier. Right. I'm from the West Coast, where gang banging originated. Right. Gang banging started here. Right. So we grew up on real gang banging music, and I'm not trying to disrespect UK artists, but I don't see that blowing up in America for that reason. Right. And I don't think you can even, like, the whole gun thing there is not a thing. No. You get stabbed. Yeah. I mean, it's just as bad, but I'm just saying, like, if you're from the UK and you're rapping about guns and shit, I know that you don't fuck with that shit because it's literally super fucking
Right.
tight there. with
I
the
mean,
gun
not even
control.
the cops have guns there.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna convince me that, you know, you're out there chopping up the blocks? You know what I mean? When we have Southside Chicago, dude,
Yeah.
and that's who they're modeling after. Don't get me wrong, the beats there slap.
Yeah. Even the cadence, like the song sounds good sonically.
Right. Sonically.
But I think if you changed up the concept, like that one dude, we were at, Guapo and he took me to Atlantic Studios, and there's this really cool dude named Danny Seth. He's from the UK, right?
Right.
He's really dope, but he doesn't talk about chopping up the block, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's dope. You don't have to talk about that shit. I honestly think if they changed up the concepts, it'd have a better chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Do you agree?
Yeah. You remember that guy, and shout out to Fredo, the Fredo from the UK, but you know, he has that like shopping kind of song where he's talking about shopping and stuff, and he's from West London, and I guess West London are known to be like kind of flashy, but he's one of the ones that I'm like, oh, okay, I could see him getting out just if he made music like, oh, I have a Louis bag, Louis this, you know, do flashy rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounds fly.
Yeah.
The accent, it all sounds fly to me.
Right.
Like sonically, it sounds dope.
Right. And another thing, let's piggyback off this UK idea. Do you think there could ever be somebody hard from like France or France?
Well, I can't even speak on that because I don't know the culture there at all.
What if they
So
spoke
I don't want to
English?
speak on something. I mean, it's just weird. When you're like, bro, when you grew up in America, that
Right.
culture is just so like programmed in your head to
Right.
where you think other outside shit is
Right.
kind of like, not a joke. I don't want to be disrespectful, but it is.
Right. I mean,
You
it
know
kind of
what I mean?
sounds funny. Yeah.
And dude, I respect all artists.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as like the hard gangbanging, like, bro, we grew up on Nip, we grew up on Snoop, we grew up on Game, we grew up on Pac, YG, like,
Didn't really grow up on YG, but yeah.
But this is where it started.
Yeah. Who's Rosalia? Who's Rosalia?
She like came up from a college.
Oh, she's from Spain.
Yeah, she came up from a college project, and she literally just like put out an EP of her college. Like,
Yeah,
Does she speak English?
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
is
like.
she's a really good voice.
Oh yeah.
She was on that little 6-track EP that Travis Scott put out.
Okay. Have I heard her?
She was on the remix for, what was it? Fuck.
But does she speak?
really look it up.
But does she speak English? Okay. And does she speak English with an American accent, or does she have her accent?
She can, but she's.
She has an accent.
If she's doing like a commercial, she'll speak.
But I'm saying like on the records, like
On
does
the
she?
records, I think on the Travis Scott record, she was speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Or singing
but
Spanish.
She
Oh,
sang
okay.
a
Well,
couple
Spanish
parts
is a
in
different
English.
breed.
Yeah.
Spanish is a different breed.
And
I
she's a
think-
girl. We're talking about
But
like,
if you've
yeah,
noticed,
hard
though,
rappers.
The
Yeah.
girls are starting to come into hard rappers and really change their music as far as
yeah.
like
Well, they have impact on.
impact goes like
Yeah. But
outside of America is what I'm saying.
yeah,
that seems
but
to be the only
here's-
part where it's coming in.
yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of the girls nowadays, like the girl rappers at least, are like trying to come like Meg Thee Stallion is trying to come with like gangster rap. That's another like kind of like thing that we could talk about. Is now no disrespect to like female rappers, but like if you're gonna come out and talk about gangbanging and stuff, like you better really be out there.
living it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and granted, not all these rappers are really living it,
Yeah.
but I mean, at least I'm sure they have friends that are living it.
Well,
you
that's
know,
why
they-
I don't talk about it. I mean, honestly, like,
Yeah.
if you haven't lived, like, I'll talk about scuffles. I've had plenty of scuffles in my life, but as far as like like, if you don't live it, it's just better off because you can make real music that you relate to and that you've actually experienced. That's
and that's the best way to make
that's the
music.
best way to make music because it's real.
Yeah, you actually just brought up a great topic. If people are asking like how to songwrite and how to like write records, I mean, honestly, write you.
Write you and don't overthink it.
Yeah, and would you agree that it takes a long time to find you?
Oh, that's the hardest part of being an artist.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I struggled
Like-
with, producing wise as well. You know.
And let's jump from this is perfect. The oversaturation in the music industry, literally, if you're trying to do this as a career, you have to experiment. You have to go out the box and create your own sound. If I didn't have this motherfucking brother right here, I wouldn't be shit because I'd be pulling beats off YouTube, you know, with the little budget that I have. You have to find someone that is willing to ride or die
Right.
and create that loyalty and bond that, because we have gone back and forth. Shit, we argue all the time, but we get work done. And
Yeah.
we literally, you have to experiment. You have to go outside the box. The pop, it's already been done a million times.
Right.
You have to find your niche. So you just have to remember, if you're going to do music, and this is kind of a tip of the day, and you can laugh at me because I haven't made it, that's fine, whatever. I'm being honest. You could look at other artists that do the same shit. Kid Cudi, perfect example.
Right.
His sound at that time was completely different.
Right. Yeah, until he met that producer, and then he made like Man on the Moon and everything. And I think that's like, that goes back to, you know, when I was producing and I started making beats, they were like, you know, you got to find somebody to link up with and grow with,
develop.
And you and me truly grew together as far as like making music and making a sound.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah,
because some days you get down on yourself,
right?
And I'll be like, "Yo, you're tripping. That beat is fire," and he'll be like, "Nah, shit. Let's move on." I'm like, "Don't move on. Let me lay down what I wrote so far, so you can hear it with the vocals on it." And then I'll lay the vocals, and he'll be like,
"I fuck with it."
You change the whole song because there's two big components to the songs. It's the beat and the vocals,
right?
And sometimes the vocals make the song. Sometimes your vocals are just there, kind of like an instrument, and the beat is really what makes it. But you got to find someone that's really willing to ride this fucking ride with you.
Right.
And I'm being like 100% real. I've linked with other producers, and I love a lot of the producers that I met on the way, but Wyatt has literally helped me evolve to the artist that I am today.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, just my beats, like, when I first started, we started working together like exclusively. I remember a lot of my shit was super, super dark, and you're gonna find like as people get, you know, you could see it in mainstream art like artistry and stuff like that. Like, you know, they start off a certain way and then they completely change once they find, you know, that producer that they like fucking with. You know, like Travis with Metro. And, you know, I mean, when I first came out, my beats were super, super dark. And I remember I just started making poppier sound. And I mean, that's again, back to what you were saying, tip of the day. And that's how we're going to end this today. Tip of the day is just to nail your point home is to find somebody who's gonna grow with you.
Yeah, could not agree more.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you guys, this has been a decade. We still are not even close to there yet, but we aren't gonna give up.
We're getting closer.
And you can, like I said, you can laugh at us, but this is the same formula that the independent artists that have blew up. It's the same blueprint. Yep. It's the same fucking blueprint. So don't take the easy route. I honestly think it's the best if you grow with someone you trust and someone you work with really well, and you're going to create a whole new sound. You're going to change the whole culture of music. Sounds far-fetched, but it's fucking true.
And persistence, man. Ain't nobody fucking laughing at us, dude, with these numbers, man. They see it.
But we're humble though. We don't, honestly, we look at the numbers. It is a huge success, but it's not like,
it's not what we want yet.
It's not what we want yet, and regardless, like I said earlier, even if we weren't getting those numbers, we would still be doing it.
Yep.
It's our passion, is what we love.
Yep. So this is AV. This is the AV podcast. We are just under 30 minutes, but today's going to be a short one just because this is our first podcast. If you guys like it, if you guys fuck with it, if you guys want us to review your music, I'm a producer. He's a songwriter, singer, rapper, everything. So if you want us to review your music, send it. We'll have an email in the description, and check in next week. What day should we drop this? Thursdays?
Let's drop it on Thursday.
Thursdays. Okay, so every Thursday, check in around 3. And, yeah.
And once a month, we will be picking. So if you guys keep sending us your tracks, the artists that we fuck with, and we give you guys good feedback, why don't we do once a month, we will mix, master your track for you. I'll pay for it, since it's Wyatt's time, because he's going to be doing the work. So I'll be paying for your music to be mixed and mastered.
And take advantage of it.
Take advantage of that. I'll be paying for it, because I don't, like, this is my brother, but I compensate him because he puts in fucking work. So all you artists that do have, like, loyal producers, give them gifts here and there, fucking compensate them, make sure they feel like you're appreciating their work. That's the most important part.
And that shit goes a mile, man.
It's got to be a two-way street. I think a lot of artists are like selfish and have that fucked up. The producers, engineers put in a ton of work. I can engineer my own music because of this guy. He's taught me a lot of shit. But just make sure you're giving back to your producer. That's very key.
Without a doubt. Because we all got to give back in this industry, man. And so I hope you guys enjoyed our first inaugural podcast. It was a little sloppy. We were just getting stuff together. You know what I mean? But we had some technical difficulties.
We did.
Pro Tools was trying to make sure that we didn't record this thing. But stay tuned next week. And we're going to have more hot takes. We're going to have more advice. We're going to have everything. So
let's go.
See y'all. Hey, gang.
Hey.